Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and some bad news out of the NBA. It looks like Zion Williamson's going to be out for the rest of the season, um, so we're going to be talking about it today. Leave a like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at MudbloodCal. Let's get into it. So earlier today, announced that Williamson has broken his left ring finger. And will be out indefinitely, as well as Brandon Ingram with an ankle injury. This is big news as the Pelicans look to be on the cusp of a just final chance to make some noise in getting into the playoffs. As they fall to 30 and 37 tonight with a 2-point loss to the 76ers, a 2-point loss, and where Lonzo Ball looked pretty good. He only had 18 points, but pretty solid, just all-around game. 7 guys for him in double-digit points, with only a 9-man rotation. It's pretty impressive, but apparently not enough to get the job done, as Joel Embiid had a monster night, posting 37 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists, and 11 from 20 from the field in a game where I think he really showed that he can be the MVP. I think Joel Embiid would be the MVP if he stayed healthy. That's a big part of the MVP race, but we'll talk about that a couple weeks from next week, when I have my final MVP prediction video. But for the Pelicans, this really sucks. They're right now they're 2 games back of the Spurs. The Spurs, who picked up a win tonight, they would have been, I think, just a game back before today, I believe. And this is definitely a tough loss. This isn't updated crap. Of course it's not. Good job, but yeah. Nice one. Why are these standings not updated? This is not cool. Okay, but there'll be, I guess, 3 games back now, or something like that. But I think this is going to be the final nail in the coffin for them. I think they put it off the other night with the win against the Warriors, but this looks like it's going to be it. Remaining opponents in the Hornets, the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, and the Warriors and the Lakers. The only way they do this is if Lonzo Ball somehow makes the case for him to be a legitimate star in this league. Really, that's the only way. And I love Lonzo Ball. I don't think that's going to happen. And then, like I said, they're 3 games back or whatever. So they probably can't lose the rest of the way out. They've got 5 tough games at the very least. The Spurs' schedule has no gimmies either. They've got the Trailblazers, the Bucks, the Nets, the Knicks, and the Suns twice. I guess there's no guarantee they'll win. They're not going to be favored in any of those games, but I think if they can squeak out a win in one, and they probably can, they're at home twice against the Suns and against the Bucks. I think they have a real shot. Playing a Nets team, especially, who is not looking good in the moment. Nets on a 4-game losing streak, I believe. Playing the Nuggets tomorrow night. We'll probably rectify that with 1 win against the Bulls before they play the Spurs on the 12th. But we'll just have to see. But I think this is the final nail in the coffin. This is a massive break for the Spurs, it wasn't looking good for them. But they still got to squeak out a win or 2, and that'll be tough. If we want to switch gears and just talk about the Lakers right now, who are dealing with some injury problems. AD came out last night with back contusions or whatever. He's fine now. But tough loss last night against the Clippers. Right now, very close. Looks like they're going to lose to the Trailblazers. I probably should have recorded this when this game was over. I could have just waited like 5 minutes. So on second thought, we're going to talk about a different team before we talk about the Lakers. That's the Clippers. I think the Clippers are really underrated. They're third in the West for a reason, and that is that they are really good. This season, I think they've just been helped by not having that same spotlight maybe that they had last season. I think that's really helped them, and they just showed just ability to perform under pressure. Beating the Lakers 3 times. And it looks like they'll probably end up third. I know the Nuggets are at 4. I don't know if the Nuggets are still a real contender. They're definitely fun to watch. Jokic is making them pick up wins every night. It feels like he's the main reason they've been able to do that. And he's looking really good while doing so. Honestly, I don't know where they'd be without him. A large portion, probably about 50% of who I decide my MVP is I look at a team and I think, where would this team be without this guy? I don't know that Jokic necessarily fits that. But the Nuggets, I was thinking the Nuggets without Jokic would be a very interesting team. If we go through guys in the conversation, I think if we're going by that, you got to give it to Curry. Because what would the Warriors be without Curry? Like, I don't think they could win 20 games without him. I don't see anyone that there's all they be. Maybe the Bucks without Giannis, but still they'd still have Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and a decent core. Definitely good enough to fight for a playoff spot in the East. So I don't know. But yeah, I think the Clippers have a lot of potential, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think my final prediction right now, I'm still up in the air. But with the Lakers' struggles recently, I think I'm leaning towards Clippers and Nets. But we'll talk about that when playoff scheduling comes out. Another thing, the Spurs, like DeMar DeRozan, you could make another case for that. Like, what would the Spurs be without DeMar DeRozan? And he is absolutely carrying them. On a much lighter note, you could say the Hornets without Terry Rozier in that MVP conversation. Definitely not there, but Terry Rozier has not been given the credit I think he deserves for just being a monster. He's been clutch as hell. He's just been nasty. Even with LaMelo Ball out, to have like that two legitimate guards, and him and Devontae Graham have been massive for this Hornets team. I really don't know if there's anyone else in the NBA that you can make that case for on what would this team be without him. Maybe Julius Randle to the Knicks, but I definitely don't buy that as much as I buy the Steph Curry conversation. Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell to the Jazz, but they'd have the other one, Chris Paul or Devontae Booker. I've heard people talk about this a lot. I think the Suns would still be a playoff team without Chris Paul. I think that's just kind of a given. Definitely not a 2 seed, but I think they'd still be a playoff game, a playoff team, not a playoff game. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the Lakers. I'm just waiting for this game to be. I swear, I started with a minute left. Okay, there's 10 seconds left now, and they're down by 5. They're going to lose. They just inbounded the ball. They're just going to chuck up a 3. But like Anthony Davis, massive night tonight. 36 points, 12 rebounds. If I just look at the box score on my second monitor, game's still up on my third. Like the Lakers, can they get LeBron back if they can just? This is a tough loss for them because I think it means they fall back into the 7th seed. Yeah, that's what that's going to mean. They're going to fall back into the 7th seed. They're going to be in a playoff spot with the Suns, Knicks as their next two games. LeBron's probably not back until the next game at the earliest. After that, they've got Rockets, Pacers, and the Pelicans, likely without AD, or likely without Zion or Ben Ingram. But Brandon Ingram, rather. I always say Ben Ingram. I don't know why. But like that's going to be 3 straight wins. But if they lose, they finally finished this game. Jesus. But if they lose to the Suns and the Knicks, this is not a good situation. Could they find themselves in the 8th seed? Do some math here. I don't know how likely is it the Warriors get a couple wins here. Warriors have Jazz. Warriors got a tough schedule to finish it out. Thunder will be an easy win for them, but Jazz, Suns, Pelicans will be tough. Grizzlies will be tough. So I don't know. Leave a like and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to have a Broncos video tomorrow. So, yeah, peace.